before bed. Tonight, we read The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris. You don't have to win the war with your mind to live a life that feels like yours. Have you noticed how hard we work just to feel okay? We chase the good mood. We try to think positive. We tell ourselves to cheer up, to let it go, to stop worrying, to just be happy. And when the worry comes anyway, when the sadness settles in anyway, we feel like we've failed, like something has gone wrong with us, like everyone else has figured out a secret that we somehow missed. So we try harder. We push the bad feelings down. We distract ourselves. We scroll. We snack. We stay busy. We pour another drink. Anything to not feel what we're feeling. And for a moment, it works. And then the feeling drifts back in, a little heavier than before. So tonight, just for a little while, let's stop fighting. Let's set down the struggle and walk into this book together. Not to fix you. There is nothing in you that needs fixing tonight. Only to rest and to see your own mind a little more gently. Let me tell you how this book came to be. Its author, Russ Harris, was a doctor, a family doctor in Australia. Day after day, people would come into his small consulting room and tell him they were tired. Tired in a way that sleep couldn't touch. Anxious, low, unfulfilled. They had the things they were supposed to want. And still, something ached. And he noticed something. He could give them pills. He could send them away with advice. Think positive, count your blessings. Look on the bright side. But so often, none of it seemed to land. People left his room, still carrying the same quiet weight they came in with. Then he found a different way of working with the mind, a kind of therapy with a plain, unglamorous name: acceptance and commitment therapy. He came across it, the story goes, in a roundabout way, first learning it to help his patients, and slowly realizing he needed it just as much himself, because he too knew the quiet ache of striving. He too had spent years trying to think his way to peace. And it turned a great deal of the usual advice on its head. It didn't promise to make the hard feelings go away. It didn't even try. Instead, it asked a stranger, softer question. What if the problem was never the painful feelings themselves? What if the problem was the war we wage against them? So instead of teaching his patients to fight their minds harder, he began teaching them to stop fighting, to unclench, to carry their fear and their sadness more lightly, and to pour their energy instead into the lives they actually wanted to live. And he watched something soften in people, not because their pain vanished, but because they stopped being ruled by it. That question changed how he practiced. And eventually, he gathered everything he'd learned into this book, a warm, ordinary guide, written not for therapists, but for tired people like you and me. And the questions it answers are the ones we ask ourselves, alone, late at night. Why am I not happy when my life looks fine? Why does trying to feel better so often make me feel worse? And is there another way to carry all of this? So let's begin with the strange idea hidden in the title, The Happiness Trap. Here is the trap. We've been taught, almost from birth, that happiness is our natural state, that a normal, healthy person feels good most of the time. That if you're often anxious or sad or restless or full of self-doubt, then something has gone wrong, and it's up to you to fix it. But Harris gently suggests that this isn't quite true. The human mind, he says, did not evolve to make us happy. It evolved to keep us alive. For most of our history, the mind that survived was the one that never stopped scanning for danger, the one that remembered every threat, the one that compared us to others, so we wouldn't be cast out of the group, the one that imagined everything that could go wrong, so we'd be ready. And we still carry that mind tonight. It's why, when you lie down to rest, it starts listing your worries. It's why it replays the awkward thing you said. It's why it whispers that you're behind, that you're not enough, that something bad might be coming. It's why, scrolling through other people's lives, you feel a sudden, sharp sense of lack. That comparing voice is ancient. Once, fitting in with the group meant survival, and the mind that worried most about its standing was the mind that lived. So now it measures you endlessly against everyone else. Your mind isn't broken when it does this. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. It's trying, in its clumsy, tireless way, to protect you. It just doesn't realize that the danger has passed and that you're safe, here, in your bed tonight. So a certain amount of worry and doubt and sadness isn't a sign of failure. It's simply part of being a person with a human mind, and the trap is believing it should be otherwise. Because here is what happens when we believe happiness should be constant. We start treating every difficult feeling as an emergency. The anxiety rises, and we think, I have to get rid of this. The sadness arrives, and we think, I shouldn't feel this way. And so, we begin to struggle. We fight the feeling. We run from it. We argue with it. We bury it under distraction and busyness. Harris calls all of these our control strategies, our endless attempts to control how we feel inside. Some of them are loud, the drinking, the overeating, the staying up too late with a glowing screen. Some of them are quiet, the endless planning, the overthinking, the way we rehearse a conversation 100 times, trying to feel safe before it happens. And the cruel twist is that they rarely work for long. You can push a feeling down, but it surfaces again. You can distract yourself from it, but it waits. Some of these strategies even cost us dearly, and we keep using them anyway, because in the short moment, they bring a little relief. And the more of your life you spend fighting your inner world, the smaller your real life becomes. Think of someone afraid of feeling anxious. To avoid the anxiety, they stop going to parties. They stop speaking up. They stop trying new things. Slowly, their world shrinks down to the few safe corners where the fear can't reach them. They've controlled the feeling a little, but they've lost so much of their life in the trade. That is the heart of the problem. It isn't the pain that traps us. It's the struggle against the pain, the fighting, the fleeing, the endless effort to feel something other than what we feel. And this brings us to the very heart of the book. One quiet idea, underneath everything else. What if you didn't have to control how you feel in order to live well? Let that land for a moment. Not make the bad feelings vanish, but let them be here and build a good life anyway, right alongside them. It sounds almost too simple. And yet it asks for a kind of courage we're rarely taught. The courage to feel. We spend so much of our lives learning how to avoid our own hearts. This book asks the opposite. It asks you to turn towards what you've been running from and to discover, slowly, that it cannot harm you, that a feeling, however heavy, is only a feeling. It can be carried, it can be held, and it has never once had the power to stop you from living unless you handed that power to it. Imagine you're carrying a heavy bag. For years, you've been trying to set it down, trying to make it lighter, make it disappear, and it just won't. Harris offers a different possibility. What if you stopped fighting the bag and simply learned to carry it more gently? What if you let your hands relax around the handles and kept walking anyway, toward the things that matter to you? The bag might still be there, but your life would be your own again. That is the shift this book is built on, away from feeling good and toward living well, away from the impossible work of controlling your inner weather and towards something far more within your reach. Choosing, again and again, how you want to walk through your one life. And there's a quiet relief in this idea, if you let it in, because it means you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until the anxiety lifts to begin. You don't have to wait until you feel confident or calm or ready. The life you want is not on the other side of a feeling. It's available now, in the next small thing you choose to do, exactly as you are, exactly as you feel. The painful feelings can come along for the ride. They just don't get to drive. So how do we do it? How do we loosen the struggle and come home to our lives? Harris offers a handful of gentle skills. Tonight, I'd like to share 6 of them with you. You can try each one, softly, as you listen. Nothing to force, nothing to get right. The first is to unhook from your thoughts. Your mind is talking, almost all the time. You're not good enough. This will go wrong. You should have done better. And the trouble isn't that these thoughts appear. The trouble is how tightly we hold them. We fuse with them. We take them as the simple truth, and we let them run our lives. So try this, gently. When a harsh thought comes, instead of arguing with it or believing it, just notice it as a thought. You might silently add a few words in front of it. I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. Feel the small space that opens. The thought is still there, but now you're watching it instead of standing inside it. It's just words drifting across your mind like leaves on a stream. You can let them float by without grabbing a single one. And here is the gentle freedom in this. A thought is not a command. I'm useless is not a fact. It's a sentence your mind made. You can hear it. Thank your mind for the thought, and still do the very thing it told you that you couldn't. The second is to make room for your feelings. When a painful feeling rises, anxiety, sadness, that tight ache in the chest, our instinct is to clamp down, to tense against it, push it away, make it stop. But tonight, try the opposite. Turn toward it, softly. Find where it lives in your body. Maybe a heaviness in the chest, a knot in the belly, a tightness behind the eyes. And instead of fighting it, breathe around it. Imagine your breath flowing into that very place, opening a little space around the feeling, letting it be here. You're not trying to love it. You're not even trying to make it leave. You're just allowing it, giving it room. Think of a wave in the sea. If you stand rigid against it, it knocks you down. But if you let it lift you and pass, it sets you back on your feet. A feeling is like that. It rises, it crests, and if you don't fight it, it falls again on its own. And strangely, when a feeling is allowed to be here, it so often begins to soften, all on its own. Not because you forced it to leave, but because you finally stopped slamming the door against it. The third is to come back to this moment. So much of our suffering lives in thought. In the past, we keep replaying. In the future, we keep dreading. But your life is only ever happening now. So gently bring yourself back. Notice 5 things you could feel right now if you tried. The weight of your body on the bed, the warmth of the blanket, the cool of the air as you breathe in, a sound somewhere in the night, the quiet beneath the sound. You don't have to clear your mind. The thoughts can keep chattering. You're simply choosing to come back here, to the one real moment you ever truly have, because the worry about tomorrow is happening now. The regret about yesterday is happening now. There is nowhere else your life has ever taken place. And when you really arrive in this moment, you so often find it's gentler than the mind was telling you. Right here, in this breath, there is no problem to solve, only the quiet and you resting in it. The fourth is to notice the one who is noticing. All night, things have been moving through you, thoughts coming and going, feelings rising and fading. But underneath all of it is something quiet that has been watching the whole time. The part of you that notices the thought is not the thought. The part of you that feels the sadness is not the sadness. There is an observing presence in you, calm and steady, and always here. It was here when you were a child. It is here tonight, and no thought, no feeling, no hard day has ever damaged it. When the storms come, you can rest back into that quiet watcher, like the deep, still water, far beneath the waves on the surface. The fifth is to remember what matters to you. When we stop spending all our energy fighting our feelings, a beautiful question opens up. What do I actually want my life to stand for? Not goals to achieve, but values to live by. The kind of person you want to be in your quietest heart. Kind, honest, brave, present with the people you love. These are like a compass, Harris says. Not a destination you arrive at, but a direction you keep choosing. One ordinary day at a time. A goal can be reached, and then it's over. But a value is something you can live by. Every single day, right up to the last. You never finish being kind. You never arrive at the end of being honest. And on the nights when life feels heavy and pointless, returning to what matters can quietly give it shape again. So you might ask yourself, softly, as you lie here, if no one were watching and nothing were measured, what kind of person would I most like to be? The sixth is to take one small step. A value means nothing until you live it. So the last skill is simply committed action, choosing one small thing that moves you toward the life you want and doing it, even while the fear is still there, even while the doubt is still talking. If you value connection, send the message tomorrow. If you value health, take the short walk. If you value courage, say the true thing, gently. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel confident. You just take the bag of difficult feelings with you, and you walk toward what matters anyway. And let the step be small, truly small. Not the whole journey, just the first inch of it. The mind loves to picture the entire mountain and freeze. But you only ever have to take one step, and then the next, and then the next. A single message, a single walk around the block, a single honest sentence. This is how a life actually changes, Harris says. Not in one heroic leap, but in 1,000 small choices. Most of them made while you didn't feel like it at all. That is what the whole book has been quietly building toward. These 6 skills all sound simple, and they are, but they take gentle practice, again and again, because the old habit of struggling is strong, and it will keep pulling you back. And each time it does, all you have to do is notice and gently begin again. Now, perhaps a worry has crept in. If I stop fighting my bad feelings, won't I just give up? Won't I become passive and let my life fall apart? Isn't a little struggle what keeps me going? It's a fair question, and Harris answers it kindly. Acceptance, he says, does not mean giving up. It does not mean liking the pain or wanting it, or resigning yourself to a smaller life. It means stopping the useless fight, the war against feelings that were never going to leave just because you hate them. And it frees the energy you were spending on that war to pour into the things you can actually change, the actions you take, the direction you walk. Think of it this way. 2 people feel the same fear before something hard. The first spends all their strength trying not to feel afraid and never makes the move. The second lets the fear be there and takes the step anyway. Acceptance isn't weakness. It's what makes the brave step possible. You're not surrendering your life. You're finally stopping the one fight you could never win, so you can live the life that was waiting behind it. And notice, this is not about pretending. It's not a smile you paste over the pain. It's not telling yourself everything is fine when it isn't. Real acceptance is honest. It looks the hard feeling in the face and says, gently, you're here, and that's all right, and I'm going to keep living anyway. There is a strength in that, far quieter and far deeper than any amount of struggling could ever give you. And here is something we so easily forget. We keep believing that happiness is a feeling, a warm, pleasant glow that we're supposed to chase and capture and hold on to forever. When I feel calm, I'll be happy. When the anxiety lifts, I'll finally be free. When I'm confident, then I'll live. But Harris offers a richer kind of happiness, not the fleeting feeling of pleasure, but the deep sense of a life well lived, a life with meaning, a life that moves in the direction of what you love. And the remarkable thing is, you don't need to feel good to live that kind of life. You can be anxious and kind. You can be sad and brave. You can be full of doubt and still take the step that matters. Happiness, in this deeper sense, isn't something you wait to feel. It's something you build in the way you choose to live. So then, who are you underneath all of this? You are not your anxious thoughts. You are not your heavy feelings. You are not the story your mind tells about your failures or your future. Those things move through you like weather across the sky. But you are the sky, the wide, open space in which all of it comes and goes. And that space has room for everything. It has room for the worry and the joy, the grief and the love, the doubt and the courage. No storm has ever harmed the sky. The fiercest weather rolls through, and the sky simply holds it and remains. When the day was hard and the thoughts were cruel, that open space in you was never touched. You don't have to clear the sky of clouds to be whole. You were always whole. The clouds were never the problem. The struggle to make them disappear was the only thing that ever truly hurt. And when you stop fighting the sky, something settles. You realize you can hold the hard feelings and still reach for the things you love. You can carry the weight and still walk a life that matters. That freedom was never on the far side of your feelings. It was here, all along, in your willingness to feel them and live anyway. So before we end tonight, let's bring it gently down to earth, into ordinary life. In your relationships, this book asks you to show up, even when you don't feel like it. To listen fully, even when your mind is restless. To say the loving thing, even when fear is whispering. Closeness doesn't wait for you to feel perfectly calm. It's built in small, present moments, given freely, again and again, in your work and your days. It asks you to act from your values, not from your moods. On the mornings you feel low, you can still be patient and honest and kind. The feeling does not have to decide the day. You decide the day in what you choose to do with it. And when the hard feelings come, and they will come, it asks you not to brace against them, but to make a little room, to breathe and soften and let them pass through, the way clouds pass through an open sky. Not fighting, not fleeing, just allowing and walking on. We've talked about a great deal tonight. From the trap of chasing constant happiness to the quiet freedom of letting your feelings be. And maybe some of it felt new or strange. That's all right. You don't have to understand it all at once. You don't have to practice every skill. This book is like a kind friend. It won't rush you and it won't judge you. It only reminds you when you need it that you don't have to win the war with your mind, that you can carry the hard things gently and live a good life anyway. And please, don't turn this into one more thing to get right, one more way to feel like you're failing. Acceptance isn't a test you pass. It's just a softening, a loosening of the grip, and you can begin in the smallest way right now by letting this very moment simply be as it is. So let me leave you with one last gentle practice. Set down every thought about this book and just feel your breath. Notice how it moves all on its own, without any effort from you. Now bring to mind any feeling that's here tonight. Maybe a little tiredness, maybe a worry that wouldn't quite go quiet, maybe nothing in particular at all. Whatever it is, don't push it away. Just make a little room for it. Breathe around it and let it be here, with you, in the dark. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to feel anything other than what you feel. Listen to the sounds of the night. Maybe a car far away. Maybe a faint hum. Maybe just a deep, soft silence. And feel your body now, held by the bed beneath you, tenderly supported, warm and heavy. There is nothing to control, nothing to fight. In this moment, you are allowed simply to be here. There is no past to fix, no future to win. There is only now, only you, here, breathing, feeling, whole. Tomorrow, the mind may start its struggle again. You may feel anxious or low again, and that's okay. Don't blame yourself. Just notice it. Make a little room and gently take one small step toward what matters. That's all. Every noticing, every gentle step is a life, quietly becoming your own. Good night. Thank you for being here with me tonight. May you rest in the quiet of this moment and find your way back to the peace inside you. I'll see you with the next book